What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Moose Milk Podcast. This is episode 92. I'm your host, Ryan. Gonna wait for Customs by Matthew to join, but I hope everybody's having a good day, good week, good weekend, whatever this is. I just want to remind everybody that we only got about 3 more weeks on Instagram before we move over to YouTube. So if you're not already, please follow us/me. I don't know. You can follow both of us at Customs by Matthew's YouTube channel, and you can go over to youtube.com/@MooseMilkMedia. Get the podcast there. We will also be going live, or should be going, fingers crossed, if everything works out, on Twitch. So, Twitch channel is twitch.tv/@MooseMilkMedia, or twitch.tv/MooseMilkMedia. I don't think there's the ad there. But you can follow both of those channels, because that's where we will be streaming in the new year. Here is Matthew. Instagram. See, we won't have any of this. In the world, there'll be no loading. There'll be no, Matt just joined and nothing wants to work. Here we are.
What?
When we move to YouTube, there won't be any of this bullshit.
All right.
What's up, buddy?
Not much. How are you?
Very tired.
Are you?
It's been a long day. Yeah.
Yeah. You had a cleanup day, didn't you?
Yeah, I cleaned my house and hung out with my nephew for like 3 hours, which toddler is a lot of energy. A lot of energy going there.
Hell yeah.
Like, we need to take that down 10 notches. Is that?
I said that they are a lot of energy.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
I can't do that full time. Like, 2 hours a week, plenty.
What up? How are you? How's things otherwise?
Yeah, I've been editing intro for the podcast all week for when we move over to YouTube. So I've spent about 7 or 8 hours working on that and watched a few movies, nothing too exciting, nice. And watched a shit ton of Friends. That's about it. It's been a pretty just sitting there editing and listening to podcasts and that kind of thing. But nice. How about you?
Yeah, I had a busy week. Yeah, just everything, right? Work's fucking busy, and
well, you're telling me
everything's busy. I'm trying to get my shelves done. I have a couple more shelves I have to fix up.
They're looking very full.
They are.
Yeah.
So I decided I'm not gonna downsize. I'm going to focus on like certain shelves, and like the ones that are frustrating to put together, I'm going to give them all more space. So, but I have to get rid of a bunch of stuff. So I'm going to get rid of all my MCU stuff, and I'm going to get rid of like my comic Avengers and like the comic Avengers associated villains and stuff, and just kind of do like this whole shelf will just all be X-Men, like top to bottom. So,
Jesus,
because there's a lot of X-Men teams I want to have represented on my shelf. That's like my number one, right? So it's like I'd rather have
even the same way. I'd rather have X-Men than anything.
Yeah, so even like the lower level X-Men teams, like I'd rather have that than like Avengers. You know? So yeah, so I'm gonna sell off a bunch of shit and then basically like give more space to. I'm gonna give a bit more space to Star Wars, a bit more space to my two Ninja Turtles, a bit more space to Power Rangers, X-Men villains. So yeah, so I got a game plan, and I'm gonna make a shelf for video game stuff because we're getting Street Fighter figures again. So
the Mega Man ones,
yeah, and Mega Man 2. So and then I ordered some Battletoad stuff that should be coming in probably middle of next year. So
nice.
Earthworm Jim.
It's weird that you're like not like a huge gamer, but like you're like two loves of gaming are like two of the hardest games in the world, at least in my opinion. Like I'm terrible at fighting games, so like fucking Street Fighter I've always been awful at, and then Mega Man, which is notoriously one of the most difficult fucking platformers. Yeah, I
love Mega Man though. Mega Man's such a fun game. I think
the music for me, like that's first six Mega Man games have some of the best soundtracks in like any video game ever.
I agree. There's so many good characters. It's like I would struggle to put together like a list of like if I could pick like the next 8 figures they made, like I would struggle to pick those to pick just to pick 8. Like I have favorites, but like I have like 15 favorites. It's like,
Need a good little Rush dog.
I do have a Rush, actually.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, he's actually pretty decent too. I actually only bought this Mega Man because he came with Rush.
He's dope. I love him.
He is dope.
I dig it.
Yeah, man. I want a Proto Man really bad. I want a Snake Man really bad. I want a Crash
Man would be good.
Crash Man bad. Magnet Man, Spark Man, Gemini Man. Like, there's just too many to.
Like I said last week, man, they need to bring back Mega Man in 3D, and I would fucking love that. Give me an open world RPG Mega Man game, and I'd be so in.
I might be into something like that. We'll see.
It'd be dope. But
somebody said something nice about Doppelganger. Thanks. Who was it? Motor Sundew said, "Bro, I love the Doppelganger you did a while back." Thanks. I also enjoyed it. It's a good one.
It's like you're talented or something. I hate it.
What's up with that? Let me see here. Let me just get my notes.
Yeah, what'd you watch? Anything exciting?
No, nothing really exciting. I finished watching that McMillions.
Right, you were saying that
documentary
last week. You were watching that.
Yeah, so we finished it, and it was whatever. Kind of got boring once we found out like that it was like the marketing company that was doing it, and like then they spent like 2 episodes just like exploring that. And we're like, okay, it doesn't. The
See, like I love that type of shit.
Well, I usually do, but it was just like it wasn't more compelling than the like finding out that it was actually being done by the marketing company and they were defrauding McDonald's. Like once that kind of happened, that was like the crazy part. And then once that happened, I was like, oh, this is just kind of like whatever.
Right.
So, we watched, keeping with Christmas stuff, we watched Jingle All the Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's pretty funny. And I watched Avatar, obviously, on Friday. And I spent most of my week this week watching Beavis and Butthead. Mike Judge's Beavis and Butthead on Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny, man. Like, like you know, if you enjoyed Beavis and Butthead back in the day, you would laugh at this. Yeah. Because it's like the same idea, but it's like it's updated in the sense that like they don't just watch music videos. They do watch music videos, but they watch like how-to tutorials on YouTube. They watch like ultimate fighting. They watch like just a bunch of like more like with the times kind of stuff, right? So, and they still do music videos too, but it's like it's more or less the same. Like they're still fucking stupid and they do this one where they go to an escape room with these like 2 girls and I think they're gonna score. So like they hear the guy. They mistakenly go right instead of left and go into the bathroom, and then they're trying to like figure out how to get out of the bathroom because they think that that's the escape room. Yeah. So then they like eventually get into like the female's bathroom by going through the vents, and then like they like fill the toilet up with tampons and like it's just like it's all stupid, crazy shit, right? But it's right. I don't know. If you like if you were ever into that, I know you're not, but like I was pretty into Beavis and Butthead when I was a kid. So this, and you watched this did it.
Is that the new show or is that the new movie?
Show. I didn't watch the movie, but it's the show, and like it's cool because it kind of alternates between. It's mostly like classic Beavis and Butthead, but sometimes they do this like alternate reality version where it's like Beavis and Butthead and what it would be like if they had aged to present day. So they're like older. There's one episode where like Beavis like has to get like a kidney transplant because he refuses to go pee. He holds his pee for like 4 days and his kidney blows up like a balloon. Like it's pretty funny, man. So yeah, I really liked it. I actually didn't get to finish it. My subscription ran out on Thursday and I only made it to episode I think I started 9 of 12, so I missed the last 3 episodes, but
you're not going to pay for it. Fuck that, Paramount Plus.
Yeah, I'll eventually get back to it if I ever pick up that streaming service for a minute or 5. But
Sure.
But yeah, I really liked it. I thought it was really fucking funny. So, and it just took me back to Beavis and Butthead. So it's pretty good.
Yeah. No, right on.
Yeah. What'd you watch rather than Friends?
Mission Impossible 6, which I didn't finish my Mission Impossible rewatch.
Nice.
Yeah, I think I don't know. Mission Impossible 6 isn't as good as 4 and 5 in my opinion, but
is that the most recent one?
Yeah. So 7 comes out later in 2023, and then 8 comes out in 2024. So
gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know. I love the Mission Impossible movies. Like, I could rewatch them anytime. They're great. And that's basically it. Like, honestly, I watched like a season and a half of Friends, and I've been playing a bit of this game called Callisto Protocol, which is for PlayStation or Xbox, and it's like a horror game. You're trapped on a ship and in a jail, and everybody's like basically like fucking mutated like creatures and shit. You just have to survive and kill everything, and it's fun.
Cool.
Very violent, very bloody, very gory, but I love horror games, so I play a shit ton of horror games. So yeah, I dig it. Game. And that's basically it. Honestly, work's been a pain in the ass, and
oh yeah, did you get in trouble the other night?
Did I get what?
Did you get in trouble the other night, like you thought you were going to?
Kind of. I didn't get written up, but my boss isn't overly happy with me, so.
Yeah, well, he'll get over it. Or he won't.
No, I told him straight to his face. I was like, well, you don't like me, fire me. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, I'm just over it, man. I'm so over it. But yeah, no, other than that, I didn't really do a whole lot. My dog's been a pain in the ass, and I did a lot of work on podcast stuff for January, so it's
getting ready.
Basically on my way. Yeah, I mean, toying around with the intro, and I'm toying around with different ways of editing it, and green screen stuff and all that kind of stuff. So we'll see.
That's hilarious. I love it.
I'm gonna need probably another light just to make the green screen work, because it has to be lit really well, or the effect doesn't really work great. So
sure,
we'll see. But
that's cool, man.
Yeah, and then obviously Avatar. I watched Avatar, and we'll get into that. Whoo, boy. So
Jurassic Jesse messaged me today, and he's like, dude, I'm going to be driving. I'm not going to be able to see the show, and I'm so bummed because I wanted to hear you guys talk about it. I can't see the messages aren't moving on my text, so if there's any comments, I'm not seeing them, so you'll have to see them.
As of right now, it's just people joining in and out, so we're good. Cool. Quebec Diorama says hello. What up,
man? What up?
Yeah, no, I don't know. We can get into Avatar now if you want. I mean, like,
we can in a minute. Look at this. Check this out. I just posted it today, but oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I saw your post. It's fucking dope, man.
So cool.
Yeah, it's really well done.
He's humongous, man, and he's like 2 pounds. He's so heavy.
Yeah, it looks really nice.
Yeah, he's awesome. And then I also didn't show you my sweet shirt.
That's awesome. That's great. Yeah, I bought Avatar 2 tickets, so regardless of whether you watch it or don't watch it or go this week or don't go this week or whatever, I can talk about it next week.
Cool.
It's getting pretty.
Know if I'm going to be able to.
Yeah, I know. I know you said you're pretty busy this, so if not, we can punch it to a following week.
It'll be too late. So
yeah, no worries. We'll punch it to another week or a week from then or whatever. But I don't know. It's getting pretty good reviews. I mean, and people are saying it's very visually impressive, but it's very long. I think that's the general consensus. So
to be honest, that was one of the biggest issues I have with the first one. So
that it was too long.
Yeah,
me too. I think I mean, we'll get into Avatar right now. Like I think it's way too fucking long. This movie needed to be trimmed by an hour.
I don't know if it could do an hour without really, you'd miss a bunch. I feel like there's a lot to miss, but I just feel like
I feel like
some stuff that just
a
goes
lot to cut.
too long. Like I feel like even like the final battle, like I feel like that last battle goes for like 40 minutes. It's like,
yeah, it does.
I mean, even though it looks fantastic, it's just there's only so much.
See, like I disagree with you there. Like I think cutting out the 3D on this movie like fucking destroys it.
Yeah, I mean, like for me, I guess it's hard for me to argue that because I didn't see it in 3D. So like,
yeah,
I know that was one of the things that was like a big deal about it when it first came out was like the 3D was like insane.
But like, didn't you notice did you watch it on Disney Plus?
Mm-hmm.
I thought like it looked bad at parts because you could totally tell like, oh, this was shot for 3D and it does not hold up in 2D.
I didn't really feel like anything didn't hold up. I still thought everything visually looked great. I do think that there was a lot of stuff that seemed like the texturing or whatever, like to blend it into the backgrounds were like not great. Like
that's what I mean. Like it visually was like off. Like it didn't look right.
It didn't look wrong to me. It just didn't like it wasn't seamless. Like it just wasn't seamless to me. But it was cool. Like there was a lot of things that like so like for anybody who doesn't know, like I had never seen this whole movie. Like I think I saw like the end once, kind of like watched it with somebody at the end once, and then like I think I caught like the last hour of it once, and then I think I don't remember all of the beginning, but I know that I caught probably about the first 45 minutes. I must have been like in and out of it because I think I maybe was on a plane or something, and I was like falling asleep or something. But yeah, so like this is my first time seeing it as a whole, and yeah, I like delayed watching it until like yesterday because I just didn't have time, and I kept on being like, okay, I have to watch it. I didn't want to watch it, and like Kate kept on being like, you have the power to stop this, and I'm like, well, not really. Like I had the power, but once I kind of committed to it, I kind of have to do it, and it's just like it's funny because like once I sat down and started watching it, it was fine, but there was a couple parts that I kind of zoned in and out of a bit, but like I don't know, I didn't hate it. I don't know.
It's so generic.
I just don't feel super compelled to like run it out and see another one. I guess is like kind of mostly especially because it's like it's a long, like it's a commitment, right? Like it's pretty long. And,
totally, I totally agree with you. It's way too long. I think its story is so generic and so like overdone that I'm like, there's nothing about this story that's like compelling. The thing that was compelling about the movie was the 3D and the effects and the beauty of it. Like it's shot very well. It just didn't hold up well in 2D to me. But like that scene where they're like walking at night through the forest and everything's like glowing and stuff like that. Like you got all the vines and stuff that are like neon glowing. Like it was I remember that scene in theaters and it was like mind blowing, like seeing how fucking cool that looked. And then seeing it in 2D, I was just like, it's so lost. Like everything's just lost in 2D. But
I wonder if a lot of the visuals didn't really wow me because so much has happened since then. Like I would look at the Marvel movies and like, visually they're pretty, maybe not all of them, but like there's definitely a lot visually that are like pretty spectacular to look at.
For sure.
And like it's not to downplay anything coming from Avatar. Like I do think that visually it's striking. Like it is very cool, and I do think that what are the Nari? Is that what it is? Navi. I do think that their species looks like super cool, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I didn't really have any feelings either way towards it. Like I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. I was just like, I may eventually revisit this somewhere down the line, but
I don't know. I mean, like when you compare it in that way to like stuff like Endgame or Infinity War or whatever, like, it costs more than both those movies. Like it was a very expensive movie to make. Like it's estimated that it cost somewhere around $300 million to make that movie, and that's in 2009 money. And then they the promotion of the movie and the advertising for the movie cost them like over another $100 million. So we're talking like a $400 million movie. And obviously it's the highest grossing movie of all time. Like it made that money back, you know, triple fold basically. Yep. But I can't see how Avatar 2, it might be the most beautiful movie ever made, but I can't see this movie
beating that.
I don't see it making Avatar numbers. I just don't.
For me, the reason I think that mostly is just because it's different times now. And it's just like, even the big movies that have been successful, if you put it on an overall scale of everything at the theater, man, like their numbers are down across the board. Like
totally. They're worried that this weekend in America, North American box office, like they're not even going to hit $40 million total.
Yeah, see, that's crazy. Especially this time of year. It's usually a busy time of year for...
There's nothing coming out. There hasn't been a single big budget movie that's come out since Wakanda Forever. Like, Wakanda has been 4 weeks in a row the leading box office just because nothing else is coming out, really. And, obviously Avatar is going to, beat Wakanda Forever next week, but...
for sure.
It doesn't make like $300-400 million. Like I don't think so. Like I think it's going to be somewhere in the opening, 160, 170 probably. And I mean, does it tail off after that, or is there nothing else for the rest of the year where everybody's going like, hey, you got to go see Avatar, man. You got to go see Avatar. It's great. And it just does the same thing that Avatar 1 did, where 8 weeks, 10 weeks in a row, it's just fucking doing gangbusters. But I think James Cameron's hurt a lot of the promotion of this movie. I think he's just come off as such an arrogant jerk.
Yeah.
All the time that I
think that probably only affects a certain percentage of the majority of like the general population. Like it's not like that's headline news. It's definitely headline news for us and the communities that we play in.
But I think also when you shit on like the MCU or comic book movies in general, which are the biggest movies going out now, and people see that, those are your fans that would go see an Avatar 2. Like, those are the same group of people. So when you're telling them, like, oh, your taste sucks and these movies suck, I think there's going to be a lot of people that are like, fuck you, man. I'm not going to go see your movie. Like,
Maybe.
So, I don't know. Watching Avatar, like I didn't think Sam Worthington was like remarkable in it. Like I didn't think his character was like, oh wow, like this is a greatly written character. He did
the main guy with the Sully.
I don't know. Like I there's no character in this movie where I was like, oh fuck, I really like them. Like Sigourney Weaver's playing the Ripley.
Yeah, that's fucking funny.
That's the part that I have the biggest problem with this movie is like it is exactly Pocahontas, Ferngully, and Aliens. Like,
yeah, totally, it is.
It's like okay, we need
nothing. There's no nothing done to like try to mask that at all.
No,
it's crazy, man.
Like
even
the
that
whole
scene
mech
where
thing.
they start running over that sacred forest or whatever that they're in, and like the bulldozers. I'm like. It's like ripped like right out of Ferngully. Like it's literally
it's exactly
like,
Ferngully.
The exact same thing.
Yeah, like I get what he was trying to do, but like it's so like just paint by numbers, Ferngully mixed with Aliens. Obviously Ferngully's really like Pocahontas, but like it's very like the whole mech thing,
Ferngully
Ripley.
That was technically first before Pocahontas, I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. I couldn't tell you for sure. I know they're both early 90s, but
because I'm curious now. But
regardless, I mean, like it's just such a dated concept, and it's like at no point did I find any of the actors or actresses in this movie like overly compelling. Like I didn't find the Na'vi compelling storyline. I didn't find the human side compelling. Like the military guy that's like kind of pushing Sam Worthington's character to be like, the dickhead, basically. Like,
right.
There's no redeemable quality about him. Like, there's nothing he's saying or doing that's like, oh, I can see his point of view. Like, you couldn't come up with a concept of like something that made him at least like have a point of view. It's like basically like, no, fuck all these aliens. Like, let's kill their planet. Like, okay. I don't know.
Well, that
It
guy
just
was a
seems.
pretty good. That sergeant guy was a pretty good bad guy, though. I will say, like, I hated him. I was like, oh my god,
Yeah, but like,
fuck this guy.
I think the storyline would have been more compelling if you could actually see a point of view on the other side of like why is he? I know like our Earth or whatever is dead, and like that's why they're trying to find like new whatever, new planet, new resources, whatever the heck they're trying to do. But like that whole side of the storyline is not really told. It's basically like, hey, we found a new planet. They got a lot of fucking resources that we could use. That's worth a lot of money. Let's fucking kill everything. Like,
do you think
okay,
that, like we're gonna like there's a pretty good chance that we'll get all that information through this series of movies, right? Because he wants to do like 5 movies or something, right? So do you think that like that's a possibility that a lot of those unknown answers are there for a reason? Like we're gonna eventually slowly discover that? You don't think so? I
think they're just going to move on to the new thing. I want to say, hold on, Nike Boys in the comments saying, "What's up? Sorry, I'm late. Don't worry about being late, brother."
What up? Sorry, I can't see your comments. I can't.
Matt can't see comments. I can only see them. So
only Ryan can see them. He's gifted. He sees comments. I don't.
It's Instagram being a gem to work with again. No, I don't think they're going to answer shit in Avatar 2. I honestly think it's going to be just like, hey, we're on another planet, or hey, we're doing something else here, and I don't know. I don't know if they're really going to answer like what happened to Earth at all, or maybe I'm wrong, but
they do, because that would make it interesting for me. Like yeah,
or go back to Earth and reverse it. Like the Na'vi come to Earth and are like, hey, fuck these guys, let's fuck their planet up.
Did they mention it all in it? Maybe, because I know there was definitely points that I missed for sure. Because like it's just a long time to stay focused. Going in not knowing anything, there's nothing to really hold me there. Is there anything like? Is there any reference to like the current state of Earth? Like, is anyone living on it or no?
I'm not sure. I don't know. They may have answered that somewhere. I did not, that I picked up on it. For me, from what I understood from the movie, it was like the Earth was dying, or we've drained it of resources of some way, and we're off searching for new worlds, basically, and new resources. And you know, we found this planet that's extremely rich in whatever unobtainium, which is a terrible name for a mineral. Stop calling things just awful.
Unobtainium.
Yeah, it's abysmally named, but
unobtainable.
Yeah. Let's just merge those words, and yeah, there we go. I don't know. I like some of the creature effects are cool, like the dragon type creatures and stuff like that. Yeah. Like I think are pretty cool looking.
Some was just like, yeah.
Some of them look cool, but like I don't know. Like I think you could have trimmed a lot of this movie out. Like
I definitely agree with that.
Him like, you know, trying to get the dragon and like, you know, trying to learn this and like it's like that could have just been like a montage for me. Like a lot of that middle part could have been trained. The end fight scene, like it was okay, but it didn't need to be 45 minutes long.
Out at the end of a montage.
Exactly. Even the intro, like I think it's way too long. Like it's just everything seems bloated, and it's like that gives me a lot of concern.
I know I watched the beginning of that movie, but man, there were so many pieces that I did not remember. Like as I was
there's a lot of this movie I didn't remember. I agree with you. Like it's not a memorable movie in any way for me because it's just so generic.
Yeah, I mean it's weird. It makes me wonder though, is like how much of this movie's like the love for this movie is based on the story and the characters versus like the fact that it was like revolutionary in 3D, like because this movie was that, right? It was like the movie that basically took 3D to another level, wasn't it?
100%. So like 3D launched, and I think a few movies probably came out 3D wise before.
I remember the first movie I ever saw in 3D was St. Valentine's Day Massacre.
I do remember that being a big one, yeah.
But it was not good.
No,
still.
I remember it being a really bad movie. But like basically James Cameron wanted to make 3D like the thing, so he shot the movie. He was one of the first people to shoot it in 3D, not just do like After Effects 3D shit, right? So that was a big selling point of 3D. But I don't if this movie would have came out in 2D, I think it would have been forgotten completely. I think it was just yeah, it was visually impressive, and that's what we wanted from it. Mm-hmm. And everybody was like, you need to go see this because it's a revolutionary way of seeing a film. Like, I don't think it would have had the same effect or the same word of mouth if it came out in 2D and people were just like, it's Pocahontas, you know.
Because that's the thing to me is like the story is not like there's no crazy twists. There's no shifts in plot or shifts in story that are like mid-level, like, you know, midpoint and something crazy happens and like you kind of go a different direction for the set. Like there's nothing like that. Like, you know, like it, again, I know I have seen pieces of it, but like I was predicting what was happening next. And it was just like, it's predictable just based on, again, Fern Gully or Pocahontas alone. Like it was just like, okay, now this is going to happen. Then this is going to happen. Then this is going to happen. And it's just like, it surprises me that this movie is the highest grossing movie ever because it's so
generic,
uninspired, maybe in that sense.
Totally.
So that does make me wonder, like, about the second one and like how is that going to work? Because like, really, what else could you like? Has he said anything about like doing any crazy differences with like the visual effects? Like, kind of. So is this one something new to it that I've never heard of? Or
hold on, we got some comments here I want to get out before we get into that. 828 Hunter says, "Can I ask what type of displays you were using at Customs by Matthew?"
These are just Billy bookshelves from IKEA with glass shelves that are made for them that I also got from IKEA, and doors which have since been discontinued, unfortunately. But
then Nike Boy says, "Never seen Avatar. This episode will determine if I finally watch it or not."
It'd be interesting to hear, again, somebody else who is just jumping on the train now. It would be interesting to hear their thoughts on that. Like,
828 Hunter says, "Okay, nice, thanks." Yeah, I know. Nike Boy, I would love to hear your thoughts on if you liked it or not, being somebody that hasn't seen it as well, especially in 3D, and now you're watching it in 2D, just to see what you think of it. Like, the sequel, I know that's why it's called The Way of the Water, is he spent like an insane amount of time trying to figure out a way of shooting underwater that was like revolutionary in some way, but it had never been done before the way he wanted to shoot underwater, I guess. I don't know exactly what that means, like, because there's a ton of National Geographic stuff where you know they have cameras underwater and everything like that. So how do you revolutionize that more? To me, I don't know. I know that it's obviously going to be a 3D, you know, visual effects movie where it's going to be cool to see, you know, I assume it's going to feel like you're surrounded by water and stuff like that. But like, I don't know what he did for 3. Like, what is the new thing about 3?
Right.
I know he said he filmed 2 and 3 back to back, and then whether they make their box office is going to determine whether 4 and 5 get made.
Yeah. So they'll at least wrap up with 3. Like even if 2 bombs, he'll probably still do 3, right?
Well, it's already shot, so it's going to come out. It's shot. It's probably in the editing process now, so or close to being done. I think it's supposed to come out 2024, like Christmas 2024, so 2 years from now. So I assume it's in some kind of, you know, after you know, effects use or whatever. But I don't know, like, I assume these movies have to make $1 billion to be considered like success, and I don't think I don't know. I don't think they're going to make $1 billion, but maybe I'm wrong. But I don't think that I would watch Avatar 1 again. Like, that was enough for me. There was nothing about that movie where I would go, fuck, I need to watch that again soon. Like, I've watched Endgame 3, 4, 5 times since it came out.
I've seen Endgame so many times.
There's nothing about Avatar that makes me go, fuck, I need to watch that movie again.
It just surprises me that it's just such a basic storyline, and it's just like so well regarded. Like, it's crazy to me. Like, it brings nothing new to the table. I shouldn't say that. I guess it kind of does visually, not story wise, really though.
Yeah, I know. But see, like visually in theaters, visually on Disney, it didn't do anything for me. Like I think everything about this movie is generic once you watch it on Disney Plus.
I still thought. I mean, again, because I have no attachment to it as a 3D film.
Yeah.
There was lots of times where I was just like, "Wow, that's really pretty," or like, "That looks really cool." There was lots of times where I was like, just the things that he kind of dreamt up and like all these crazy ideas and like. Yeah, like you were saying, like the trees with the light, like even in this not having 3D, I was like, man, that's kind of a cool idea, like a cool way to tie the people to the planet and like I thought like just like the way the people moved and how smoothly the people moved, like the Navi moved, I was like, wow, that's really fucking cool, like. But I was more just surprised that the story was just so like beat for beat, like what I've seen before. Like it was just. By the way,
no, like there's elements that I think are
95 and Ferngully came out in 92.
Okay, I was gonna guess 92, but I was wrong. I didn't know. Like those floating mountains and stuff with the waterfalls. Like I think that is very like visually satisfying. But like it all was so much more impressive in 3D. So that was like my bring down of watching it in 2D. I was just like, I don't know, it looks like anything. Like you could put this on anywhere and it wouldn't surprise me. You're right. Like there is effects work. Like the Navi do look fucking impressive 13 years later. I've seen worse. Go watch fucking Justice League where they fucking penciled out Henry Cavill's mustache and it looks worse than this does 13 years,
I just
like shit like that. Where like,
I always think of like when I think of stuff that I thought looked great before and now I look back at it, I'm like, yikes. Like the one that stands out to me the most is Toy Story 1. Like when I watch Toy Story 1 now, I'm just like, whoa, it's so choppy. Like it's so like
but see, like it's funny because like Jurassic Park holds up.
Totally. Jurassic Park holds up great.
I know like a lot of that movie was actual like animatronic.
Yeah, there was some that wasn't though.
Some of it wasn't. Some of it was CGI, but like that movie holds up really well. It was done in 94. And then you watch something like Terminator 2 and I'm like, ooh, a lot of this looks really rough. Yeah. Like it's crazy how some things age so poorly and some things age wonderfully. And like, I think Avatar's aged well visually. I just think I wish we had 3D TVs that were easily like viewable with 3D without actually having to wear glasses and shit like that. Like you think they would have come up with a way where you can just turn on like a 3D filter on your television and it looks 3D with just looking at it.
Yeah. That would be cool. That sounds futury though.
It does, but like, I mean, Nintendo released that handheld 3DS and I know it's a very small screen and like everything like that, but you didn't need glasses to see 3D. There was just an effect that was layered on the screen that made it look 3D. And
it's pretty cool. Did you ever use one of those?
Yeah. It's fine. I think it gets tiresome after a while. It's draining on your eyes. And I have really bad eyes to begin with, so it doesn't help. But I think like we're at a time where you would think, all right, we've figured out a way to put like a filter over the television that splits the image and makes it look like an effect of it coming out of your screen. And like you don't need glasses, you don't need like, expensive hardware or anything to make it work. It's just built into the television and away we go. And like now with 4K televisions and 8K televisions, you think that would even be more visually impressive than when 3D came out 2000, whatever, 8, 9. And we didn't have 4K televisions then. Like most people didn't have 1080p television still. So I don't know. And they were really prohibitively expensive. Like I remember my friend Brett had a 3D TV he bought in that area and it was like very expensive. Like I think he even got it on a deal, but it was considerably expensive and he was like super stoked on it. And then we watched, I think, Amazing Spider-Man 2 or 1 was in 3D that he bought. And it was like, yeah, this is cool. But like, it wasn't like Avatar,
Yeah. I feel like that would get old quick.
Well, it's just because you had to wear glasses on top of what you're like to see it. It was like, I that's my biggest problem with 3D is I hate wearing glasses on top of my glasses.
Yeah, I get that for sure. I definitely.
But I can't see without my glasses and I can't wear contacts because my eyes are too bad.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I actually don't mind 3D. Like in the movie theater. Like I like it. Usually when I see something in like a superhero movie or something,
yep,
I'll usually do 3D D box, which is like the 4D. It's like where the seats move and the I
actually considered it for Avatar to get D-Box, but I didn't want to make everybody I was going with spend an extra like $6 to get D-Box, so I was just like, I forget it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, I got tickets for Saturday night. I think it's like 6:30 p.m. and so I won't get out of the theater till like 10 o'clock anyway because it's so fucking long.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see it. I'm excited for like the visual experience of it. But like, do I think this movie's gonna blow me away story wise or like be some like impressive thing that I'm like gonna fucking brag about next week? Like, holy shit, you gotta go see it. I don't think so.
I guess we'll find out soon.
We will. And like that's actually like I'm excited for the aspect of like if this does surprise me and I really like this movie, like awesome. Yeah. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
My expectations are so low that it could blow me away, but I expect it to be it.
I may base it on your reaction to it if I see it. Just because, like I said, it's like just the timing, right? It's like right before Christmas. I got a million things happening right now, and
it's all good, bud. I'm not upset. It's fine. Like it's a busy time of year. The only reason I'm going is because I have nothing better to do. I have no fucking life. I work and sleep, so I can go to the movies anytime.
Yeah.
Maybe next week we just
kind of base it. I'll base it on what you think, probably. If I go, but then if I do, I'll go the week after Christmas. Probably will be when I can go. So.
Okay, well, maybe next week we just do like best of 2022 or something. We'll just pick some things that we really liked out of this year. Just pick a movie, pick an album, pick a book, whatever. Pick a show, and
we could talk about all things 2022.
Maybe go over some of our Spotify shit that we haven't really talked about on the podcast.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. We'll do that. And I know the next week, I told you this, but for people that don't know, the sequel to Knives Out comes. You've seen Knives Out, right?
I saw Knives Out, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the sequel called Glass Onion comes out on Netflix, so we could talk about that the following week. And
I think the following week's Christmas Eve, and then the week after that's New Year's Eve. So
right. Well, I
might have to. We can figure that out still. Christmas Eve might not be as difficult, but New Year's Eve might not be a doable thing. But
no, I'm not going to expect you to come on at 10 o'clock at night your time on New Year's Eve. That'd be ridiculous.
But Christmas Eve I might be able to. So
we'll figure it out. We'll see what days we're off and how things are working, and we'll go from there. But so there may be a day.
I'll be at my in-laws, but I think it should still be okay. So Christmas Eve is not as fun. It's more of a daytime thing. So
yeah, I mean, other than Christmas, I don't care about. I don't care about Christmas in general. But
is Glass Onion available to stream somewhere?
It's gonna be on Netflix. Day and date.
When is it? Sorry, when is it gonna
Netflix? December 23rd.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's Netflix bought the rights to all the Knives Out stuff. So
I did know.
It went to theaters for I think a week, and then it's going to Netflix.
I heard good things. I actually listened to a spoiler cast about it. So
yeah, I heard it's phenomenal. So
yeah, I heard it's like as good as the first one. So
yeah,
that's great. I like the first one a lot. Actually, I'm going to get Kate to watch that. So because I think she quite liked it as well. So
yeah, I think it was excellent. So I'm excited. Yeah. So yeah, we can do talk about that.
Yeah,
and
then
Avatar the following week, Avatar 2 the following week, and then maybe I don't know exactly how it's going to lay out, but the Last of Us TV show comes out on HBO.
Yeah.
And I would like to talk about
that.
Give us
something to do for a few weeks. How many weeks is that of shows? 5?
I'm assuming 8 or 10, but I'm not sure. I'll have to look.
Sweet. That'll give us another cool thing. Something else to watch. That's great.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. It's like it'll break up the break before Ant-Man.
Totally.
I don't see an episode count on it.
All right, whatever. Somewhere probably. I mean, it's not like we've handled way more. That thing we've been doing. There was a point we were doing 3 shows.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, we don't know anything Marvel coming out in at all. So
Yeah.
other than Ant-Man, like we don't have any show dates or anything like that.
And
so
after Ant-Man, we get Mandalorian, so that's fun.
yeah, exactly. So
Fucking
I'm not
A.
seeing an episode count, so I'm not sure. I don't see it.
Okay.
9.
Maybe they haven't. No, okay.
Which is a weird choice, but
Okay.
Nike Boy says I'm actually excited to see Glass Onion. Knives Out was a fun movie. Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
Knives Out was great.
That was tons of fun.
Daniel Craig was awesome in it.
Yeah, great cast too, right? This looks like more or less the same. Another great.
Yeah, Glass Onion has a great cast. Yeah. We should talk a little bit too before we go about all the DC shit blowing up right now.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. Everyone's losing their mind. I love it though.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's funny. I mean, for people that don't know, James Gunn got hired from MCU to basically be Kevin Feige of DC. They changed the DCEU to DCU, and now we're starting to hear some rumors and get some idea of what direction they're heading in. And fans are already asking for James Gunn to be fired, so it's going swimmingly. So they apparently have canceled Wonder Woman 3.
He said you're not going to be able to please everybody. So
you're not, and I agree with him. You're never going to please everybody. You're never going to but I think going in and going, hey, we're gutting this, we're gutting that, we're gutting this is probably the wrong direction too, unless you're planning on canceling everything.
I think the only reason that Flash isn't going to get canceled is because they're going to still use that as their way to story point, give themselves a reboot.
I agree.
That's, I think, the only thing. That's the only reason that the Flash is currently being saved. I think. That being said,
they're going to use Flashpoint to redo the DCU.
The thing is like none of that DC stuff is memorable to the general audience, and it's not like he said, because then he even came out and said, it's not that I don't want Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. He said we didn't like the story for Wonder Woman 3. We gave Patty Jenkins the opportunity to rewrite it. She declined, so we're moving ahead with something different. So
yeah, no, I'm not saying James Gunn is wrong. I think he's probably right that hey, we don't want to put out a subpar movie. We don't like what you did for it. That's obviously that's up to the individual. I could read the Wonder Woman 3 script and love it, but after 1984, I would say that he's probably in the right because 1984 was terrible. So
I will say though that I also side with Gunn in that if he has to try to work all of what he wants to do in a way that makes sense by keeping everything else that's come before it, it's like he's jeopardizing the potential of something new and upcoming by having to bend to characters that ultimately aren't going to matter moving forward, and having to stay within those storylines to make it make sense. He's better off to just be none of this is canon anymore. None of this is relevant. We're recasting this person. We're recasting this person. All of this is canceled. In my opinion, that's the best way to, especially if he's being given the keys of the kingdom to a certain degree to let him go and do that. He would be smart to leave the past behind, because it's not like any of that stuff, with the exception of a few pieces, are really that impactful enough to make a lasting difference. Even Suicide Squad, which was pretty good, I even liked it. Yeah. But I mean, the general audience isn't going to remember Weasel and you know what I mean?
No.
It's just they're going to remember the Supermans and the Batmans and the Wonder Woman.
But it just shows how unorganized they are, really. You just got Black Adam come out and had the big, spoilers for Black Adam for people that are trying to avoid anything Black Adam, even though the movie's been out for, a month and a half, 2 months now. But, bringing Henry Cavill back at the end, I haven't watched Black Adam, I just saw the spoiler that he returns at the end as Superman, and basically then a week later they're yes, confirmed, Henry Cavill's coming back to play Superman, and they're going to do a Man of Steel 2 sequel, or a Man of Steel sequel, and now they're already saying like, oh yeah, we're probably not going to do that. That movie's probably not happening. Henry Cavill's probably not going to be Superman anymore. Black Adam's probably not going to get a sequel. Well, but like, it just seems like it's like, well, you got our money already for Black Adam and got us excited for something, or those people that were excited about Henry Cavill, you got them stoked for something, and then you're taking that away. And I can see where people are like, well, fuck you, man. Like, I was excited to see Man of Steel 2 because arguably Man of Steel 1 is the best DCEU movie.
I think people will just be like that until he starts working his magic. And then once he puts out something that's good, everyone will just forget all about that other shit. So it'll be like the Fox X-Men. It'll be like everybody liked it until the better shit came around, right? I mean, I didn't, but like a lot of people were fine with it.
I think a lot of it's going to be too is that they're going to see it as like MCUing the DCU, right? Like they're going to be like, oh, we're getting the MCU guy and he's going to change everything to the way MCU is, and we don't want that. And like I get that to a certain extent.
Do you feel like James Gunn's style is similar to MCU? Because I don't.
No, I don't think he is, and I think like this is an opportunity for him to do something a lot like more adult and a lot darker.
I agree. I think he showed he can do that with Suicide Squad. It was dark. Totally. It was violent. It had good like dark comedy in it that was like pretty twisted and like with
same as Peacemaker.
Yeah,
Peacemaker is incredibly funny and very, very dark. I think that's where he wants it to be, but like I could see people being worried and going, "Oh, he's going to change everything," and like the things I like about this is all getting taken away from me, and that's disappointing to a certain extent.
Yeah,
you know, the big three things that DC needs is a great Batman, a great Superman, a great Wonder Woman, and I guess a great Green Lantern to a certain extent. And you don't have any of those elements unless you're taking, like, to me, Gal Gadot is the right person to play Wonder Woman.
I agree.
Will she be willing to come back with a different director? Will she be willing to come back, you know, into this version of it? Like, I don't know. But like saying, what's his face? Oh, we want Jason Momoa to play Lobo instead of Aquaman, and it's like, man, just fucking recast that. Like, to me, that's the part where I'm like, no, that's a terrible idea. Terrible idea.
I mean, I can see why people think it's terrible, but I also, the limited bit I know about both of those characters, I feel like Jason Momoa fits the bill on Lobo significantly better than he fits the bill on Aquaman. But
I agree, but that train's already passed us.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I mean, the thing is then it gets confusing. Although I will also say that there'd be no real confusion between Lobo and Aquaman when he was done with him. I don't think. Like,
I agree, but I also think, like, to me, there's a ton of guys that could be super well built, buff dudes that are actors. Like, you could find another guy to play Lobo. I'm sorry, but it doesn't have to be Jason Momoa. Like, there's more Jason Momoas out there. Like, this gives somebody else an opportunity that can do something different with the character. Why do we want more Jason Momoa? No offense to Jason Momoa, I'm sure he's a stand-up dude, but like, he doesn't like overly compel me of like, oh fuck yeah, here's a Jason Momoa movie, I need to see this. Like, he's not that kind of actor to me.
You're missing out then, buddy.
Yeah, maybe I am. Yeah, maybe I'm reading the wrong. Maybe most people think he's like a bankable actor, but like to me, he's just another dude. Like, I don't know, he's the Vin Diesel to me. He's just another buff dude that like is in action movies.
I would agree with that.
Nike Boy said his 2016 Suicide Squad is the best film ever. Jared Leto as Joker is Oscar worthy. Yeah, and I mean, that's what I mean, is there's so many bad DCEU movies, and Jared Leto was one of the worst casting decisions in the history of comic book movies. Like,
I don't know, he wasn't alone, because Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor is pretty terrible too. So.
Yeah, again, awful decision.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know where they go exactly with it, but like the best part of DC movies right now is Robert Pattinson as Batman.
I agree.
So to me, it'd be smarter for them to figure out a way to build a world around that in the DC universe, rather than, hey, we need to get another Batman and another version of Batman to fit the DCU. Like,
I agree.
That's a bad idea. This new Joker movie that's coming out, like, I don't know. To me, it seems like a really bad idea to make it a musical.
I'm not disagreeing with you on that. And I like musicals.
I like the first Joker movie. I thought it was excellent, but
I never saw it.
oh, you should definitely watch it. That's a movie I'm going to make you watch at some point. But
there you go.
I loved it. Like, I thought it was excellent, but it doesn't fit the Batman universe that they're creating in the Batman, and it doesn't work in probably the next version of the DCU. So, like, I don't know where you go with that.
Right.
Like, it's just another movie that's going to be left out there on its own, you know? Nike Boy says, I forgot they had the dude from The Social Network play Lex Luthor. Yeah, and everybody tried to forget that. It was like a nightmare.
Hey, it's the guy from Zombieland, okay? Come on.
Yeah. But see, like, that's another thing that, like, again, I sound like a dickhead when I say stuff like this, but, like, is Jesse Eisenberg compelling to anybody as, like, hey, this is a Jesse Eisenberg movie, you better go run out and see this? Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Is that still a thing, though? Like, do you find a lot of people are like that still? That are
well,
like,
this has been a big discussion.
Because I mean, I guess in fairness, I never have really been, but
well,
I guess that's not like true. I'm more to direct, like, I'm more like, I'll watch the Kevin Smith movies, I'll watch the Quentin Tarantino movies. So I guess in some ways it is.
But this was a big argument, like, a few weeks ago, was Tarantino saying that, you know, there is no big actors anymore. It's, hey, this guy's playing Iron Man, this guy's playing Batman. That's the compelling part, is the character, not the actor. And, you know, the Bill Simmons podcast, which is one of my favorite podcasts, mostly about sports, but he also has, like, celebrities and stuff on there sometimes about having discussions about movies and their work or whatever. And, like, he was talking about, like, there's no bankable stars that are under the age of, like, 40 anymore. Like, it's, you know, still have Tom Cruise, but, like, the day of, like, hey, it's the big new Schwarzenegger flick, or it's the big new Stallone flick, or the big new Bruce Willis flick, like, those days are gone. Those characters, or those actors, are, you know, in their 60s, 70s, or retired. Like, the big new De Niro flick, the big new, you know, Al Pacino flick, like, stuff like that, where there's no bankable stars anymore. And, like, I don't know, like, what is a big actor of today that, like, is overly, like would make you go see a movie? Is, like, I don't know.
I don't either. I have no idea.
Outside of maybe Zendaya, like, I would say she's probably, like, the young big star, female wise. You know, the Spider-Man movies, obviously, and then she has what's that show?
Yeah, Euphoria.
Yeah, which is excellent, but maybe she's, like, the biggest young star out. I don't know.
Yeah,
that's the only one I can think of, really.
I agree, but I also disagree to a certain extent, because it's like when he says that about, like, how, like, it's the character. I do agree that the character is the big sell a lot of the times, but, you know, for me, like, again, like, I like Anthony Mackie and I like him as Falcon, but, like, that his Captain America is never going to take over Chris Evans' Captain America, because to me, Chris Evans is Captain America in my mind. Like, so it's like, I don't really necessarily agree that it's always the character, because, like, I'm not even a Captain America fan, but I like Chris Evans as Captain America. Like, he does it such justice that, like, I'm just like, oh, I like this character.
Totally.
Even though I'm not a Captain America fan. So I don't necessarily think I agree with that statement. Like, I do think that superhero movies just in general are kind of like that, in the sense that, like, they draw an audience based on just what they are, not who's in it or the story even. But I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't necessarily agree with Tarantino, but I do think it's part of the problem. Like, that is not, he's not completely wrong, but he's also, like, how do you change that? Like, I don't know, maybe the young actors are all working on television now, because that's more of a compelling spot than the theaters. Mm-hmm. Like, we have probably the best age of television we've ever had. Like, I think a lot of young actors are probably more interested in doing long form work on streaming services and like HBO and stuff like that, rather than maybe going to a movies where theatrical movies are doing worse than ever. I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is. Nike Boy was saying, he was excited for Joker 2 until they announced it was a musical and completely ruined it for me. I totally agree. I always felt the same way, even though there are some good musicals. I agree with Matt likes musicals,
I love musicals.
Joker's not the right spot for a musical, in my opinion, and that I probably won't go see that movie because of it. And then he says, I'm the same with you, Matt. I pick movies because of the directors, not the actors. And like, I agree with that to a certain extent. Like, if Tarantino comes out with a new movie, I'll see it. I don't care what the movie is. I'll go see it because it's a Tarantino flick. There's not a lot of directors like that, though, for me. Like, David Fincher is probably one of them. Christopher Nolan is definitely one of them for me, where anything Christopher Nolan puts out, I will go see. But outside of that, like, there's not a lot of directors where I'm like, oh, fuck, it's so-and-so. I can't wait to see their new flick. Like, I'm sure there's a few I'm forgetting, but...
Yeah, for me, it's not as many anymore. Again, it was more when I was in my, like, cinephile days, when I, like, knew what I was talking about more. I don't really... Yeah, you know... As you get older, there's limited space in your mind, and mine has all been occupied by nerdy shit. So,
not just space in your mind, but I also think it's just time. Like, time is more limited, and you can focus less on things that are unimportant. Yeah. So, a new movie coming out is way less important now than it was when I was 16, and it was like, well, that's what I'm doing on the weekend. I can't wait. Like,
now it's like I got all this other shit I gotta do.
Yeah, you know, people got kids, people got wives or husbands, and you know, bills to pay and things to actually like matter to take care of, and everything becomes less and less important because they're so much busier. But I don't know, like I'll always go see a new big movie if I can, but I think the future of film needs to be like, we're going direct to streaming service X and theaters, and if you want to catch it on streaming service, great, and if you want to go to theaters, it's there for you, and that will probably kill theaters in the long run. But I think theaters need to change into more of a boutique experience. Like, I think it's I wouldn't mind paying a premium if, you know, they delivered food to you at your seat, or there was less people in the theater.
You guys don't have that, because we have that here. So
yeah, I think a lot of big cities, like I know, like LA has it, and you know, San Francisco, and obviously Vancouver now.
Right? Toronto's gotta have it.
I assume Toronto has it. I haven't ever been to a theater in Toronto, but yeah, if they had something like that there, where it was like, oh, there's less people in the theater, we can guarantee you that nobody's gonna be sitting beside you on their cell phones or like texting or any of that shit, and I would pay a premium for that. I'd be like, yeah, sure, I'll pay $30 to know that I can actually sit here and watch this movie, and there's not gonna be some annoying fucking, you know, kid beside me. Like, that'd be great.
Our VIPs are 19 plus, so you have to be of age, because they serve booze and you can get food delivered to you, and they have recliner seats and they're comfortable. And
yeah, we got recliners and shit, but no food delivery or alcohol delivery. They had alcohol at the one theater, and I think they took it out, but. I will only pick the movie by the actor if it's Leonardo DiCaprio. Yeah, I love Leonardo DiCaprio, but again, Leo's like in his 50s.
Yeah, true that, son.
So, like, I guess he's 48. I was close.
Getting less and less from him.
Well, not just less and less, but again, these are like, you know, Leo got popular in, you know, mid 90s. Yeah. Like, we haven't had that type of. Yeah, Titanic was 97, I think, right? Yeah, so yeah, he was, you know, mid 90s. It's 2022. Like, what big actor has come out in the last 3, 4, 5 years? Like, not many.
Yeah, true. I mean, I don't really know because I don't follow, but Timothy Chalamet. There's one. No.
Okay. Well, I mean, I guess maybe, but I'm not going to see a movie because it's Timothy Chalamet's in it.
I'm not either, but I think there is probably people that do, right? He's pretty popular, isn't he? I don't know. Maybe I don't know him.
I don't know. I mean, he's like, Dune's going to be huge next year, the sequel to Dune, and Zendaya's in that as well. But like, that's not the compelling part to Dune to me is Timothy Chalamet. And the compelling part of Dune to me is that's based off the book Dune, and the first one was awesome. I don't know.
That's fair. That is fair.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess we'll see. I hope that DC figures its shit out, because I would love, great Batman movies, great Superman movies, more Wonder Woman. Like, that would be really compelling to me, is seeing like a darker version of this world. But I think that's the route they should go, is like dark rated R movies, but they won't make billions of dollars like MCU movies do, because it's rated R. So I don't know. It depends what level of is acceptable, of money. I don't know.
I guess we'll see somewhere. I mean, we probably won't feel that for quite some time, right? So,
well, considering, I mean, we don't even know what their timeline is yet. They say that's coming, and then I think in 2023 that they're going to have like a press conference announcing what their, phase 1 strategy is, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. But, I mean, Flash doesn't come out till I think June, so we're probably not going to get anything like till at least 2024, 2025 coming from James Gunn. So I don't know. We'll see.
I guess we will. But next year is supposed to be Flashpoint, right?
Yeah, Flashpoint will be, I assume, the area of where they reboot everything. But
that'd be my guess.
My assumption is you will never see Ezra Miller in a movie again after Flash. But
I'm gonna probably agree with that.
Yeah.
Imagine he
Nike Boy asks, "What's that? Sorry."
Imagine he won like an Emmy or something.
No, that'd be the weird part. Is like, what happens if this movie's really fucking good, and then what do you do? But Nike Boy asks, "Have you guys ever watched You on Netflix?" No, I haven't.
Kind of sounds familiar, but
yeah, I know a lot. It got really popular. They were talking about it on one of the podcasts I listened to, but I've never seen it.
I wonder if my wife watched it. She watches a lot of shit that's like popular. Well, that's not always true, actually.
Like that show Wednesday is blowing up like crazy.
Oh yeah, we're gonna watch that. She wants to watch that sometime over like the next couple weeks. So
I was gonna watch it, but there's nothing about that show that compels me to watch it.
That's fair. I am not an Addams Family fan, so
me either. But everybody's surprised by that. They're like, "You love horror stuff. Why don't you love Addams Family?" I'm like, I don't know. It's so like fucking. It's like dorky and like it's not really horror.
Like
I don't know.
Family horror, like it's like
it's like Casper.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
It's like it's like calling What We Do in the Shadows horror.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it is to a certain extent, but it's comedy.
Yeah, it's more funny than it is scary.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah,
by a lot.
Yeah, no, it's not supposed to be scary. It's supposed to be a comedy. Anyway, so I guess that's the end of this episode. I don't know, unless you got anything else to add.
No, I don't think so. Avatar 2. You're going to watch it next week, and then I might watch it somewhere down the line. But overall, Avatar 1 didn't really... It was just fine.
What would you rate it?
I don't know, like 6.5 maybe out of 10, something like that. 7 maybe.
Yeah, I'd be in the same area. It's about 6.5.
Yeah, it was okay. I don't know if I would like feel compelled enough to want to watch it again. That's why I am at where I'm currently at. Because I'm like, do I really want to so quickly then go and watch another one of these things? Like, I'm not sure if I liked it enough to.
I think the visuals will blow you away once you see it.
Yeah.
Even if the movie sucks, I think you will be like, wow, like that movie was fucking cool to see. Yeah. But yeah. See you, Nike Boy. Thanks for watching, buddy.
See you, dude.
That will be it for this. What are you doing Wednesday?
Wednesday is a cool one, though. So Wednesday, I'm going to have Wes, who is the guy who runs Secret Santa with me, and our buddy Draven might show up. He's having some health issues right now, so he might not be able to make it. But basically, like the organizers of the legendary Secret Swap are all going to be on the show. And we're going to go through all the reveals so far and go through kind of a bunch of the artists and look through their work and just kind of chat about the history of the event. And it should be fun, man. I'm looking forward to it. So
sounds great.
It's been a lot of work. That's been another thing that's been keeping me super busy lately is trying to organize 60 customizers who some of them are good about posting, some of them are not as good about posting. So it's lots of follow-up and lots of tracking packages and lots of communication with them. So yeah, I'm excited to explore that a little bit more with Wes, since he's been pretty busy this season. So
cool.
Yeah, man, should be a good one. And then the week after, I have my little super show with a bunch of my friends who have been on the show before, and we're going to be talking our favorite figures of 2022. So should be a good one.
So there you go. That will be the week of top of 2022. We'll do our thing next week with our favorite things of 2022 media-wise, and then you guys do a bigger thing in the following Wednesday. So
yeah, girl.
All right, well, that will do it for this episode. If you're not already, please follow us at Moose Milk Media and at Customs by Matthew. You can go over to our YouTube channels and follow us there and subscribe as well. The podcast is available on podcast services. And a reminder that within the next 3 weeks, we will be moving to YouTube and Twitch. So you should follow the YouTube channel so that you can get the show then. It'll notify you. And, I think we're only at like 25, 26 subscribers there. So got to get those numbers up. But I appreciate everybody for watching, and I hope everybody has a great week, and we will catch you next Saturday. See ya.
Peace out.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Moose Milk Podcast.